Good morning. Welcome to the trade setup right here on BloombergQuint Live. I'm Neeraj Shah, and it's a placid day for the markets in the offing, which is actually not bad news. Frankly, you want the markets to just kind of not really gyrate too much, and maybe that'll happen today. Let's wait. Let's try and figure that out. First, what the U.S. markets did in the session today, and should come up on rather overnight. And there was a bit of a pullback move in the Nasdaq, which actually got kind of flattened out as well. So in the end, fairly flattish kind of a performance by the US markets. No great shakes, but that's okay. But the dollar has been very, very strong. I think the story of the last few days has been commodity strength, dollar strength vis-a-vis various other currencies in the basket of almost everything else. I think the flocking to safe haven probably working. And this chart tells you, right, this is the highest that the greenback has climbed to since November of 2020, by the way. So keep that at the back of your mind. The dollar is looking very, very strong. And that has an impact on certain asset classes, including, like I said, commodities and some currency related um, material items as well. But yeah, the greenback strength has been telling the last few days. Asia is slated for a mixed start, if you will, largely in the green. If you scan the early risers, at least you don't have too many stocks coming off. In fact, strangely, the Nikkei is showing a red tick. It started off reasonably okay. There's a new person at the helm of affairs in Japan as well, so pretty interesting out there. It's been a bit of an election week with Germany and Japan, both of them in the fray. But long story short, we have a flattish to a marginally mixed start for the Asian indices, and the SGX Nifty should next come up on your screen. And I reckon that we'll see a similar kind of an offing, 0.5% between the up and the down. And I think the SGX Nifty would probably bob in between those two. Yeah, currently a 0.25%. Actually, largely been in the negative trend, SGX Nifty, for this morning's trade. Let's wait and watch how we start off. Yesterday, you'd probably say that the MOV function will come up on your screen, and you will probably say that select oil and gas. There were select power companies which are a big hit yesterday, but that was about the trade. And yet you had 284 stocks advancing to 216 declining. So it wasn't a bad breath, despite the fact that the index itself was flattish to maybe marginally in the red. But what a day for power-related companies, isn't it? I mean, name anything. I mean, look at this list, for example, right? Tata Power, Sterling Wilson Solar, India Energy Exchange, NTPC, Coal India, almost in that index, Power Grid Corporation, IEX, Jindal Steel and Power, anything related to power had a phenomenal outing in trade yesterday. I mean, Tata Power at a point of time was up about 10%. That told you a story or two of what's happening. And a bunch of things happening. You can read, you can actually hear some of the voices on various platforms. Our platform has JSW Energy's Prashant Jain talking about what's happening in the space. So pretty constructive. Most people are on this. Let's wait and watch how it shapes up. Some of the block deals that we had highlighted yesterday corrected, but largely the market breadth wasn't too negative. Now, what's the trade setup therefore like in today's session? That's the key verdict. Now, I mean, you call it my guess or what have you, but with global markets grappling with multiple facets of uncertainty, it's hard to believe that there could be a runaway rally. If anything, this could weigh in on the markets, and there are multiple facets of uncertainty, right? The US lockdown looming, how it shapes up, who knows? Until now, it's never happened. What if this is the first time of sorts? Not first time really, but the first time in a really long time of sorts. So that's the issue. The Evergrande situation continues to roil international markets and supply chains. And if indeed the China-led commodity inflation in commodity in and the winter coming, and therefore energy costs moving up, and if that leads to persistently higher inflation, who knows what will happen to market sentiment and trades thereof. So lots happening within the global markets in terms of uncertainty and could weigh in on markets. I though wouldn't be surprised if there is a bit of a strength in CV companies and auto ancillaries and CV related ancillaries today and the next few days. We'll have the auto numbers coming out tomorrow. Arguably, from whatever little estimates I've seen, the expectations are that the CV numbers will be strong. And if that is indeed the case, and if the commentary is looking robust, then you might well have some of these do well. All eyes are out on gas-related stocks in case the APM gas price revision is announced today. We don't know if it'll happen or no. I think Z Business had said that they'll happen. The announcements will be made today. If that happens, then uh, I think there's been a bit of a rally already in the oil and gas and the ONGCs of the world. So you got to be careful about trading into them afresh. If you're buying them afresh, then please know the risk reward before you get into it. Because if indeed the APM gas price revision is slightly lower than what is anticipated, then the big runaway rally that we've already seen in Oil India or ONGC, for example, or particularly Oil India, in 1 month, it's rallied from 175 to 255. It's been a big runaway move. Then maybe some of those things could get tempered. So all I'm saying is, I'm not predicting one way or the other. All I'm saying is that please make sure that you understand the risks at this stage of the move before you get into those stocks. What are the stocks to watch today, though, aside of the oil and gas and the auto ancillaries that I spoke about, CV related, and the CV stocks themselves? One eye would be out on all the new F&O entrants which come into play from tomorrow. So I think some of them have had a rally already, but because they entered into the liquid space, maybe there could be some pre-positioning of sorts. It's happened in the past, by the way, as much as we like to scoff at it, but it's happened in the past. So do watch out for some of these. The likes of Delta Corp in particular, Persistent Systems, they've also announced an acquisition. So these could be very interesting. I'll highlight some of these tomorrow as well when they enter into the F&O space. The big stock of the day today could be Sterling Wilson Solar. It's already rallied a bit, was up about 5-6% yesterday, but the release that came out at about 10:29 p.m., if I'm not wrong, was that promoters facilitate the repayment of the balance outstanding loans along with further interest accrued till dates. Therefore, as a result, the entire outstanding loans of 2,500 crores as on the date of listing of the company shares on the exchanges, along with further interest accrued till date, stands repaid. Viewers, this was the big, big issue with Sterling Wilson Solar, right? It listed at a premium or listed at a higher price, then came off substantially. And I think the biggest bugbear was this this intercorporate, interpersonal loans, and how the market didn't like it. And I think the promoters were cognizant of that, and that's why they wanted to repay these loans. I think some actions have been taken. I think this is a big thing. Now, while the stock is rallied, I would presume there is more in store. I believe this could well turn out to be the stock of the morning. I may be completely wrong, but I don't think so. Z Entertainment, more developments. Invesco has moved the NCLT asking the company to call an EGM of shareholders to induct its nominees on the company's board. Now, as good as it is from a corporate governance perspective, I think it might disappoint the bulls of Z Entertainment because everybody was hoping for a quick resolution, a quick Sony Z merger, no probing into the accounts, because I think there's this story done on one of the websites which also spoke about how they cited some institutional investors as saying that maybe it's good for everybody if the deal goes through and um, Sony buys out Z as opposed to there being investor activism and probing, etc., because usually that may not turn out well. Now, mixed bag really, but I somehow think this may maybe dampen the spirits a little bit. Let's wait and watch. Some stocks in focus. HAL, the Defense Acquisition Council, has approved procurement of 25 helicopters from the company for about 3,850 crores. So it's in focus. Indian Overseas Bank has now is uh, it exits the RBI prompt corrective action framework. No longer needs to be in that. Let's wait and watch. HAL should react a little bit. A couple of bulk deals that stood out for me. Phase 3, after a long time, I heard about this company, but Ashish Kacholia has bought about 4.5 lakh shares, and Suntec Realty Tata Mutual Fund bought about 11 lakh shares. Everybody seems to be bullish on real estate, and that's why I thought I'll bring this report from Anarock that came in yesterday. But just watch out. So their analysis suggests that top 7 cities saw a 113% increase in housing sales. Can you believe that? This is in quarter 3 2021, which is July, August, September. 113% increase in housing sales. New launches up 98%. Approximately 62,800 units sold in quarter 3 against 29,000 units in quarter 3 2020, which is a quarterly surge of 156%. That's quite something, right? And about 64,560 new units sold in Q3 against 32,000 in Q3 2020, which is also a fabulous increase. So all in all, it seems to be that real estate sales are up and about, and people who are skeptical about it should look at some of these numbers to just understand the quantum of sales that are happening in real estate. Seems to be pretty promising. Lastly, Coal India has had such a mammoth rally. Maybe Antique is a bit late to the party. Who knows? One way or the other, I just thought I'll bring the Antique note. They've released it today with a buy rating and a target price of 240. They believe higher international coal prices are expected to prevail in the near term, and the company's planning a price hike in the FSA segment. I think they've given some reference to how, because the company needs to pay its workers uh, salaries, and unless they want to be, if, that'll be margin dilutive now. Unless they want to be margin, if they want to be margin neutral, then they have no choice but to hike these prices. So let's wait and watch. And they expect the company to clock in an 8 to 11% CAGR in revenue and net profit by FY21 to 24E. Now, just keep in mind the ESG counts always work against the Coal India, but it's such an undervalued stock with a fairly decent dividend yield. And if the coal prices are to be hiked, then maybe some section of the market might believe that this might be a good play. Well, yesterday, a large section of the market believed that Coal India is a great play, which is why the stock was up about 10% at a point of time. Let's wait and watch if there is more in store. All in all, viewers, flat day to maybe marginally off, but nothing untoward thus far. Just that it's the weekly options expired, so expect some volatility in option prices and be prepared for that. And rather, it's the monthly FNO expiries. I expect some volatility, and starting tomorrow, 8 new stocks join the bandwagon. So more addition in the FNO space for everybody to trade. Stay safe. Watch out for commodities. Watch out for gas companies and oil and gas upstream, as well as CGD companies. They could be in focus if indeed that Z Business exclusive turns out to be true. And of course, starting tomorrow, we'll talk about results, auto sales, and whatnot. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Have a safe, profitable day ahead.